there's this new system, Dolly, that's getting a lot of visibility now, which is this thing where you can type in any phrase and it'll create you computer-generated art. Right?
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah.
They've done some with me. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Chase Lepard, he's got a few of them that he put up on his Instagram. Well, how does that work?
Yeah. So it's a very similar thing. So basically, what they do, and Google has one of these, and OpenAI has one of these. What they do is they pull in all of the images on the internet, right? So if you think if you go to Google Images or whatever, just do a search. On any topic, it'll give you thousands of images of you, whatever, and then basically they pull in all the images.
Yeah, that's me.
Exactly.
How bizarre.
Yeah, so that's
AI-generated art.
So that's AI-generated art. That's a different program. That's just basically doing sort of psychedelic art. The Dolly ones are basically they're sort of composites where they will give you basically it's almost like an artist that will give you many different drafts. Yeah,
that's another one of me.
Yeah.
So the first one go back to that, please. Yeah, you just had it up. It's what does it say? It said, Joe Rogan facing the DMT realm, insanely detailed, intricate, hyper masculinist, dark, elegant, ornate, luxury, elite, horror, creepy, ominous, haunting, moody, dramatic, volumetric, light, 8K render, 8K post, hyper details. So they say that, and then they enter all this stuff in, and this is what comes out?
And this is what comes out. Now,
holy shit.
Yes. Okay, so first of all, yes, it's incredible. Like, that's amazing. It's an original work of art that is exactly to the spec that...
Why'd they make my nose look like that? Doesn't really look like that, right?
Not today.
It's a little off. I would say if that was an artist, I think you got the nose wrong. And you made my jaw.
Well, it's referencing these other artists. If you see at the end, it's actually referencing. It's probably pulling in portraits, right, of other people from those artists and using it to do a composite thing, right?
But the fact that it can make art.
Now, but see what it's doing, right? So it's very impressive. I mean, the output's very impressive, and the fact that it can do that is impressive. But it's being told exactly what to do.
Yes.
It didn't have the idea that it was going to do that. It was told. It's following instructions.
Right.
Right. So it's not sitting there like a real artist dreaming up new artistic concepts.
Right. But here's the question, because you were saying this before, that it can trick people into thinking it's real. How do we know what is alive?
So
but this is the question. If it can, what is a human consciousness interacting with another human consciousness?
Yep.
I mean, it is data.
Yep.
It is the understanding of the use of language, inflection, tone, the vernacular that's used in whatever region you're communicating with this person in to make it seem as authentic and normal as possible.
Right.
And you're doing this back and forth like a game of volleyball, right?
Yep.
This is what language is and a conversation is. If a computer's doing that, well, it doesn't have a memory. Well, but it does have memory. Yeah. Well, it doesn't have emotions. Is that what we are?
I don't know.
Because if that's what we are, then that's all we are. Well, because the only difference is emotion and maybe biological needs, like the need for food, the need for sleep, the need for for touch and love and all the weird stuff that makes people, the emotional stuff. But if you extract that, the normal interactions that people have on a day-to-day basis, it's pretty similar.
Yeah. Well, so here would be the way to think about it is what's the difference between an animal and a person, right? Why do we grant people rights that we don't grant animals rights? And of course, that's a hot topic of debate because there are a lot of people who think animals should have more rights. But fundamentally, we do have this idea. We have this idea of what makes a human distinct from a horse or a dog, right? Is self-awareness, right? A sense of self, a sense of self being conscious.
Right.
I Descartes. I think, therefore I am.
Right.
Right. And so at least we have this concept, this philosophical concept of consciousness being something that involves self-awareness. Like the computer is like I told you, the computer is quite capable of telling you it has self-awareness.
Yeah.
It's also quite capable of telling you it doesn't. It doesn't care.
Right.
It has no opinion on whether it has consciousness or not. And that's why I'm confident that these things are not conscious. They're not alive.